It's okay. Well, you're here now, and that's what counts. We're working in the power of now.
The power of now. There is
Right
no
now.
other time.
Yes, it is. That's so true. And so you're just in time because now we get to jump in. You've been prayed in already, so you got all that wonderful energy that's coming forward from the universe. And so we're talking about two things, actually. We're talking about living out loud. Well, maybe it's three things. Living out loud is our theme for the year, and we're starting off the year, and we usually start talking about beginnings, and people say new beginnings. However, you know I don't know what
Yeah,
beginning is.
really.
However, we're talking about beginnings. I am beneath the surface of our theme, and our monthly theme is root and reboot, and get grounded, and therefore we create a beginning from what was, and look for opportunities for that which is new. And this week, and I know this is one of your favorite topics, we're talking about gratitude, and the title is Singing with Gratitude. And many years ago, when I was part of Creative Light, which was actually previously called United Science of Mind Center of New York, uh, there was a recruitment for people to join the choir. And the musical director said, well, singing is like praying twice over. And I'm like, oh, okay, that kind of sounds cool. He also said, if you can talk, you can sing. And that just suckered me right in because I never thought I could sing. And I'm still pretty doubtful about that. However, um, he said singing, singing is like praying twice over. And it's actually a biblical quote. And if I can bring it up, I know it's somewhere. Not quite exactly sure where it is, but yeah, it's really talking about the energy of life, and that when we sing, we're using our that power within. And one of the things that we talk about with gratitude is the whole essence of the consciousness and using our words for that which it is we desire. And that's what prayer is about. Prayer is about, well, hopefully, people are using their words to bring about what it is that they desire, with a consciousness, in the consciousness of gratitude. So, does that sound about right?
Yes, indeed.
Uh
I'm while you were talking, you inspired a thought in me about song.
huh.
And this title, Singing with Gratitude, I mean, it's easy enough to go here singing with gratitude. Um, what comes up for me is the obvious as well. When you want to sing with gratitude, you want to make sure you're always speaking from a place of gratitude. And that's all good and everything. Singing with gratitude, bring gratitude into your song. But what I'm getting is that, well, what is a song except an expression of the self? Okay.
Mm,
And, or it's the difference between a song and a poem basically is music. And so
mhm,
there's an old expression that says, those who don't hear the music, they think the dancer is mad.
mm,
Okay. But
mhm,
there is a rhythm to speech.
mhm,
There is a rhythm to conversations. People in New York speak differently and much faster than people from Alabama. And
mhm.
California has its own particular way of doing things. So every conversation is actually a song. We haven't written music to it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have music in it.
Right.
And so the music you want to put into your words you speak is the music of gratitude, of joy. This is what I'm getting. You want to keep gratitude in your mouth because basically you increase what you have by being grateful for what you have. I mean, it's
Right.
very clear. If you diss what you have, you're not going to get more of it. So
Hmm.
singing with gratitude is the fastest way to increase your prosperity is to start with gratitude. You can't even go and achieve anything if you don't take inventory of where you are and what you have. And they want to do that with gratitude because if you do it with rage or fear or something, then you produce more of that. And
Right.
so doing it with gratitude, you produce it in gratitude, you can enjoy it more. So I fully behind this. Uh, Gratitude is I call it the cornerstone of consciousness,
Hmm.
and it's the fountain for it's the wellspring for joy. It just makes everything better.
Sounds like a commercial,
You know,
sprinkles of gratitude. Yeah.
what's that hot sauce? The guy says I put that bleep on everything. I kind of feel that way about
Right.
gratitude, man. They just slather it on everything, bathe in
Mhm.
it. Gratitude is just good medicine. And no matter what your current issue is, it fundamentally gets better when you go to gratitude. It's
That's
just that
right.
it's just that
That's
simple.
right. That
So sing with
reminds me.
gratitude. Go ahead.
There's this quote that's so true. Giving thanks for abundance is sweeter than the abundance itself.
I
It's like,
really love that. I really love that. That's like it's like the tail is wagging the dog, people. It's not about what you get, it's how you feel and who you're being. And that's basically always true. It's never about, I gotta get, it's never about what you're doing. It's never about who's doing it. It's always about who is it, who's doing it. Who are you while this is happening? The
that's right.
trick to being powerful is to remain who you are in spite of the circumstances. And so, go ahead.
I want to. Yeah, I hope you remember. I haven't used this analogy in quite a while. We were in Vancouver, and we were going for ice cream, and we're
Yeah,
standing online,
yes,
and right, I think in front of us was a small family. I think it was a father, mother, and a little child, little girl. And she was just so excited, enthusiastic about getting this ice cream. And she was jumping and she's tugging on daddy's hand. Oh, she's going to get the ice cream, going to get the ice cream. And I mean, that was, delicious. Just watching her, just like, oh, the joy of being in that, of having that ice cream. But she was doing it before she even had it. And so when she got the ice cream, she was still jumping for joy, jumping for joy. She dropped the ice cream out the cone, you know. I was like, wow, you know, the having it wasn't so much as good as all of that she was doing before she even had it, and even afterwards. It was like that to me is the sweetness of the abundance of just being in that thankful mode. So do you remember that? You remember that?
I didn't remember it when you started talking, but
Mhm.
when you talked about how the ice cream fell out of her cone, it's a shame, but I do remember that.
That's right. And they just gave her another one.
Of
They
course, I know
yeah,
you gave her
yeah.
another one, and it was a great cosmic lesson for us all. But her and I love it. I love that in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, he says the word anticipation. Yeah, and anticipation, because gratitude, you can anticipate good things happening because it's a state of gratitude means I have.
Yes.
And and what I have is sufficient enough for me to have a certain level of joy so that I can be grateful for it.
Hmm.
And that's how you get more of it. You open yourself to it that way. So yeah, but and you can anticipate. Actually, I always anticipate, and it's a shift for me in my life because I
Hmm.
had a negative uh, way of looking at the world, and I still do this from time to time. I catch myself. It's like instead of asking for what I want, I would I would set it up so that I wouldn't be disappointed if I didn't get it. I said, "You don't have this, do you? You wouldn't have this. If I want something, instead of saying I would like this, I'd say you wouldn't happen to have any of this, would you?" So that's because if you don't have it, that's okay.
Right.
Not saying this is what I would like. And gratitude with this new thing right now, I expect to get what I want. I
Hmm.
expect the universe to respond to me favorably because I continue to respond to the universe favorably. I give this energy into the universe, and it reciprocates. And when I'm around negative people, I look at them. I say, I know why you're there. You're trying to protect yourself, but that's not how you grow.
Hmm.
That's
And
not how
and
you.
and that's the power of it, is just being in it without having to think that there's anything that needs to be done.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
including the willingness. You know, it's
Well,
like, yes,
really. Well,
I already, yeah,
if thoughts are things, there's a question in here about um, from taking something from the manifest to the unmanifest. How can something exist? How you can be grateful for something that doesn't exist yet?
mm-hmm.
And it does exist because in pure potentiality, everything exists. In the infinite mind of God, everything exists. And so I'm grateful for what exists. But the gratitude, okay, help me, Holy Ghost. I'm loving this one right here. What the gratitude does is personalize it as mine. It's all out there,
Yeah,
okay, in the field of potentiality, mind of God, all these different, expressions of the infinite, absolute mind, everything exists simultaneously and at the same time. But when I have gratitude for a particular thing, then I have personal energy with that particular thing now, and the universe is responsive. So now we have a relationship
yeah,
together. So
that's
it's
right.
easy for me to manifest it in the physical plane because I'm cultivating that relationship on the spiritual plane. And lower correspondence, once again, it's what this is about, as within, so without. And so when you have gratitude for the thing that you desire, and quite frankly, Rodney, for me, I believe the reason why I desire something is because my soul knows I already have it in potential, in divine expression. And
That's right.
so I'm grateful for that energy and for that knowledge, and it works.
And that's really what it's about, because you know, in this teaching, and so I mean, everybody on some level uses affirmations, whether they're positive or negative. They're using their words, and which will contribute to bringing about the manifestation of what they want or maybe don't want, but they speak it
Yes.
enough, it's going to show up. We know, as you said, the law of correspondence, you know, as above so below. You know, it's in your mind, you speak it out, and guess what shows up. So uh, the part about affirmations here, and this is by Neil Donald Walsh, says affirmations do not work if they are merely statements of what you want to be true. It says affirmations work only when they are statements of something you already know to be true, like you already mentioned, something that you all are already grateful for. So we talk about being grateful in advance, as though, yes, we already have it. It's already mine. You know, my gratitude helps it come out of the invisible realm into this physical reality. So thank you so much. And this definitely supports what you've been saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, affirmations get a lot of attack
Mm-hmm.
because people use them as a panacea, just magic words like magic beans. You can just say this, but you have to embody what you're saying. I like Brother Ishmael, he uses the word declarations. These aren't affirmations, they're declarations.
Mm.
This isn't about what you want. This is about you declaring the truth about who you are. And that used to be the third step in the spiritual mind treatment, declarations. And people
Mm.
say, well, you can't declare things into being. I said, well, Dr. Holmes says, don't get me to mess with Dr. Holmes says, when there's no differentiation, no adulteration from being and non-being,
Mm.
what we have left is being.
That's
See,
it.
we get to the place where there's no separation between these two things. And your
Mm-hmm.
spiritual life and your physical life, you live them equally to the point where I recognize that, I'm a beast. Okay. This is the thing. Human beings don't want to be animals, but we're beasts.
Yeah.
Okay. We do
Yeah.
savage things to one another.
Yeah.
But we also have this other component to who we are that we like to call divine. But both these things together, that's the polarity that makes a human being.
Yeah.
And
That's. Mhm.
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, yeah, absolutely. And however, it's not to take anything away from the other legged or winged or other, you know, creatures on the planet, because I think they all happen to be divine.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
We're the only ones who don't know this about ourselves, as far as I'm concerned. Animals are just too busy doing what they need to do. Okay. They have it clear. Okay. We call it survival. They call it life.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. They don't know the difference between survival and not survival.
mm-hmm.
Okay. We said, well, some of us are no, it's just life in the jungle, life on the savannah, life in the river, life in the sky.
Right,
Okay. It's what we do. And just be grateful, man. I'm just If you haven't practiced gratitude, I can guarantee you're not happy.
Mm,
I can guarantee you're not happy. And if you are unhappy right now and you hear me speaking, start working on your gratitude. You know, just
absolutely. And there's a quote I want to share to help folks out with that. And it says, enlightened people know that their life has been given to them as a sacred trust. They live, they live in gratitude and confidence, and they try to let the flow continue through them. And that's by Richard Raw. And it's like, yeah, it says enlightened people, and that's you, that's each and every one of us. We have some level, some measure of enlightenment, and it's our
yes.
job to keep it up front on how to have that expand and how to have that work in our lives so that we can be joyous and happy. Because I think I know joy is with us all the time. We are eternally joyful, we are filled with joy. However, we have to act like we know it. We have to live like we know that to be true. And it shows up on the outside as happy. It shows up as the activity of happiness. But happiness, it depends on what you think about, what you feel, and when we're grateful, I don't think there's any room for anything less than joy and happiness to show up. When we're grateful, it turns around situations that don't seem so joyful, that don't seem so happy. But I think when we are being grateful, that quote that says from Thessalonians, it says, in all things give thanks, not give thanks for all things, because we're not grateful for everything that happens, but in all things, we find that there's going to be that what they call a silver lining. There's going to be a reason where I can be grateful. I can give thanks.
Which is troubling when you're having a really miserable day.
Yeah.
Like, well, what am I supposed to be grateful for now? Well, you can be grateful that you are aware
Yeah.
that you have the power to be grateful. You can be grateful that you're breathing because that breath doesn't belong to you. You're breathing the same air the dinosaurs breathe. Look what happened to them. You're still here. So,
and that's so true. However, the gratitude is a way to get out of
yes, it
that
is.
space. Because I remember like the huge tragedies that happened, 9/11, and we had the superstorm Sandy that leveled so many places, um, and what happened in New Orleans, and yeah, really difficult to be grateful when you're standing on a rooftop and there's no help coming, but in the midst of that, as you mentioned, it's like, well, there's still an opportunity here for me. I'm grateful I'm still alive. Maybe I can pull somebody out of the water. Maybe I can help somebody uh, in
I'm gonna
some
be
way,
sitting there,
shape, or form.
I'm gonna be grateful that I know help is coming. I don't
Yeah,
want to be on the roof thinking, "Oh God, I'm done for." It's like, why dwell in despair? Okay, why lay down in despair when hope and gratitude is readily available? I just
that's
don't
right.
and I wrote in the chat here, it says gratitude grows that which we are grateful for. Because some people they're and I've been this person. I should say some of us, not some people like they're over there somewhere. Some of us can have our own righteous indignation going so powerfully that we're grateful for our misery because it
Yeah.
proves how right we are. You know, I
Hmm.
can't enjoy myself. That would be like admitting that, something is okay when I'm clearly, I hope you can follow my line of reasoning here.
Oh
I've done that myself too many times, so much, where I deny myself pleasure because I'm right about the situation and I'm so grateful to be right,
yeah. Hmm.
that I'd rather hold on to being right and miserable than to, to maybe be wrong and happy.
Right. Yeah. I remember a long time ago, I had a supervisor say, would you rather be right and wrong or wrong and happy? I mean, would you rather be right and sad
Yes.
or wrong and happy? I was like, all right. And I found gratitude in being wrong and happy. I was like, I'm so glad that what I thought was not the truth. You
Oh
know,
my God. I'm so grateful that my worst imagination has never come true.
Amen to that.
If I have nothing else to be grateful for, I'm grateful that I haven't mastered instant manifestation. I got
Right.
a period of time to think about this before I actually bring this one into, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because some of this, oh God, especially if I go unconscious with anger or fear, then I can imagine the worst case scenario is destruction. It's just it's scorched earth. It's everybody dies.
Right. Right.
And I'm grateful, and I'll go with them because at least I eradicated the threat.
Yes.
And I'll go down with the ship for this one. It's like, no, I don't have to go down with the ship.
No,
The
ship
ship's
doesn't have
not
to
here
go
to
down
be
at
sunk.
all.
What's that?
The ship doesn't have to go down at all.
It's not designed to go down. It's designed to float across the water and bring that which I desire to me. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the expression. My ship is coming in. That means I sent for it. It's being shipped to me, and
Yeah.
it's coming in. My ship is coming in.
That's right.
So I'm not trying to sink it. Mm-mm.
Mhm.
No, no, no. So
However, many of us do.
I
I know
sure
I
have.
was
I have.
living a life of carrying a whole bunch of anchors on me. My ship wasn't going anywhere but down.
Man.
It was like, yeah. So I'm grateful. I had an opportunity. I heard the word. That came from so many different resources. From the one source that said, "Give yourself another chance." It's so interesting because I was thinking about these two words, gratis and gratitude, that seem like they should have the same root, that gratis and gratitude. And gratis generally means free, but it also means grace. And the root of it means grace. And to me, gratitude provides a lot of grace. It's like by the grace of God, uh, I was able to hear words that were spoken to me so many times over and over. And finally, I was able to free myself up enough to hear those that graceful idea of it doesn't have to you don't have to go down with the ship. Your ship
And the ship doesn't even have to go down.
doesn't have to go down. As a matter of fact, you can make it to the shore. You can surely make it. And that's
Well, in
what.
the concept of oneness, I'm the ship, I'm the shore, I'm the
Yes,
water, I'm the
yes,
wind. All the conditions, everything that's happening is a part of who I am. This is also the week we talk about how to use it. And
yes,
oftentimes the catchphrase, well, it's already using you.
yeah,
But it's really not using me because that would mean it's still separate from me using me.
hmm,
It's not, and we like to say, well, it's operating through me. Yeah, well, it is operating through me, but that still means it's in through me. But
right,
I like as me. Okay, it's happening to me. This is God expressing as me, as Muwata. It's a thought, an idea, an activity in the mind of the divine in the field of infinite potentiality, and everything necessary to support it is already present. Otherwise, I couldn't exist.
right,
The acorn only exists because there's a planet with Earth, okay, that has a rainfall, that has a type of soil that is generous, but it doesn't grow in the desert. It grows where the conditions are exactly right. And I
hmm,
think it takes 50 years for it to make acorns of its own. So that's a mature tree. All of these things were already here before the acorn gets here, so it can support it and have its life. And everything I need is already here.
hmm.
All of us is everything we need. It's already here. So I'm grateful for what's here because I know I have access to it because it's not separate from me.
Awesome, awesome.
That's singing. That's to me singing. You're talking about some singing with gratitude. Everything you say is a song, and so gratitude should be everything in everything you say.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know for many of us, and that came out of this talk as well. There are many of us who have to exercise that gratitude bone, that gratitude muscle. It's like
Yeah.
it's like I
It's
remember
free
growing
at your
up,
feet.
it was like one of the magic words, please and thank you.
Oh God.
What's
Are
the
you
magic
reading?
word?
Are you reading my wife's diary?
Well,
My
that
whole
one
family is
time.
bad at that. My whole clan is bad with please and thank you. It's not my fault.
And so, and so, it's one for one thing. We do know that we were getting spiritual lessons from a very early age, even though it wasn't presented that way. It was like you have to, you're supposed to say thank you, and I know when I encounter people who, if I hold the door for them and they don't say thank you, and all of a sudden, I start to get an attitude, and I'm like, I don't do it anymore. I don't like, well, you're welcome. I don't do that if they don't say anything. But I just say, you know what? I would do it anyway. I'm just grateful to be able to do something without having to be uh, told thank you, and so it's our my attitude to gratitude is a vital part of my experience in life. It
That's a really good
allows
point.
me it allows me to be free.
Yes,
It allows me to like not have to feel like there are any have tos in the flow of life of giving and getting. We just give and get without putting any what's the word?
expectation.
Yes, thank you.
No meaning. Don't put meaning to it.
That's right.
It's when we put meaning to things that we start having difficulty with it.
That's
Because oftentimes it doesn't behave the way we think it, quote unquote, should behave,
yeah.
and especially other people.
Yes.
So, what they say, expectations are simply premeditated resentments.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
if
right.
you don't have a reason, now you have a reason to be disappointed.
That's right.
Premeditated disappointments. So, but yeah, I'm liking what you said about. How did you put that? You said about the. Oh my God. You said. Oh man, it was so good. About. I was trying to use it for my talk in the next hour over here. You said gratitude. Recap that remark.
Oh yeah, right. We'll have to watch the video.
Yeah, really. Yeah, it was a. But I don't know how you got in there. You started talking about being grateful for gratitude. Grateful for. It was good, Rodney. That was really good. And then I started going places with it in my mind, and I took it like three other different places when I tried to go back. I said, "Wait a minute, what was the original thought?"
Right.
You
Well,
know,
basically, talking about the attitude of gratitude when it comes to our life experience. Uh, Pop.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, and but you know that yes. I'm not gonna. We can just keep talking. It'll show up again or it won't. But
Yeah.
man, that was gold.
And
That was
so
gold.
one of the things we also want to bring up is, and we had talked about it before when we are preparing all of this. What role, if any, does gratitude play in the creative process? And if it does play a role, at what stage is it used to be effective, meaningful, and necessary? And this is for everybody to think about, but Reverend Moata, what role do you see gratitude playing in the creative process of existence of life as we know it?
Well, once again, I believe gratitude is the cornerstone of consciousness, and I believe consciousness is cause,
Mm,
and that the universe itself is consciousness in action. And so, therefore, if gratitude is a cornerstone of consciousness, then it's the cornerstone of everything, all activity. That's why Thessalonians says, "In all things, give thanks."
hmm
And you just stay in a place of gratitude because it keeps you as a receiver in a state of receptivity. And even when you're having a difficult time, you can be grateful because you know that better times are on the way, that better times are coming, that this is not the sum total, this is not the end. There's
mm.
a line I think was what's the name of this movie? Um, Something about what's that hotel? The best something hotel. This place in India, best gratitude. It was the best something hotel.
Oh yeah, Marigold. I mean, na-
Marigold Hotel. I think you got
yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah.
And here's a line. He always says, things always work out at the end. Things always work out in the end. And one point he looks, he says, and if things haven't worked out yet, it simply means it's not the end yet. Because they always work out at the end. And so my gratitude is knowing I'm coming through this and I'm going to smell like a rose. And what doesn't kill me makes
Hmm.
me stronger. And this hasn't killed me, and I'm getting hecka strong. Because the strength is staying in integrity with your own being through the stress and through the hardship. And
Right.
then when it's over, your roots are stronger and deeper because you weathered it. And you need resistance in order to thrive. Plants have to push against the wind, push through the
Hmm.
dirt. You need resistance to survive, to prevail. It's
Yes.
necessary. So when things are happening that are unpleasant, this is just being at the gym right now. Okay, I'm getting a workout today. I'm getting to stay in a grateful place. How heavy is the gratitude today? It
Mhm.
seems pretty heavy.
That's and that's true. And there's a quote here. We're going to use this before we move into the affirmations. It says, "Gratitude is a distiller of emotions, and when you give thanks, you're purifying your emotional response to life by focusing on love and leaving fear, doubt, worry, shame, and blame behind." And that's from Diane Harmony.
That's pretty
And
good. Yeah,
yeah, so yeah, gratitude is right there to bring us to that level of peace and understanding and love, uh, to so that we can experience it, so we can be in control of our emotions, and rather than have our emotions control us, which happens most of the time, I think. People who are unaware of how to actually use gratitude in the moment, they become subject to their emotions. That and
absolutely. Not
they
sub. Yeah, when you say subject, you mean subjected to their
subject,
emotions.
yes.
You know, they're prisoners of their emotions.
That's right. That's
Being
right.
haunted and tortured by them.
Yeah.
And one of my, it maybe, I mean, might have to give him credit for this. It may be my favorite quote of all time. Victor Frankl talks about the last human, I think he called it dignity, is the ability to choose, to make up your
Mhm.
mind. You know,
Right.
that's your superpower. You can choose what it is you're experiencing in the moment. And this he's in a concentration camp. They killed his people right in front of him. They threaten to kill him every day. They're trying to break his will. And he's like, no, that's one thing you can't do because I get to choose. I'm not going to hate you. I'm not going to, no, you can't make me hate you.
That's right.
That's something you don't have the power to do. You are not that powerful. Only I can do that. That's my power. And I'm not giving it to you. And when you lose it and you allow circumstances to get you off the gratitude bubble or the gratitude beam, then you lose potency for all the other things that you want because now anything that happens, you can be thrown off track, lose sight of who you are. And so here's a quote of mine I love. I say it a lot.
Mhm.
Ships sail east and ships sail west by the very winds that blow, but it's the set of the sails and not the gales that determine where they go. And my
Mhm.
sail set on
Whew.
gratitude. I'm
Oh,
sailing into gratitude, on gratitude,
that's right.
in gratitude, being pushed by gratitude, destination gratitude.
With gratitude.
With
Amen.
gratitude, man.
I love
It's
that.
like
That's
you
great.
gotta set your sail on gratitude, man, because the wind's gonna blow.
Mhm.
Okay, and you have to know how to handle the wind. Okay,
Mhm.
there's gonna be hardship, there's gonna be stress. You will be betrayed. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
You will be betrayed
Yeah.
more than once in life. And the only way to not be betrayed is to hide away someplace and have no relationships, and now you're betraying your own self.
That's
So,
right.
and betrayal seems to be the hardest thing to get over, but it happens to all of us. Why? It must be normal
Yeah.
to be betrayed.
And
Okay?
and listen, I know I have betrayed my highest and best intentions for myself.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so there is forgiveness, and then there's gratitude. And I think we got to start with gratitude in order to open up to the love and the forgiveness and the compassion. And I could see how a lot of people would not see the connection of gratitude to everything else. And here's one way that I remember to be grateful. Let me hold my breath and hold my breath. And then I realize I have to take another breath. And when I take that breath in, or I exhale, But when I take that breath in, it feels good. I'm like, I am so grateful. I'm no longer holding my breath. I mean, it's just simple. I'm grateful for the breath. And when we can just start on something very simple like that, we can apply it to everything. And to me, that's like as you said, whether you start your day, throughout the day, end the day with gratitude, with the
Yeah,
sail
yeah,
pushing out with
yeah.
the wind, it's just gratitude, and
Yeah.
the rudder with gratitude. This I love that. Thank you so much.
I had
So
a guy once. I was at a conference, one of these like S. It wasn't S. It was what was the one after that? Anyway,
Life
um,
Spring or
the
something like that.
forum or something like that. And so they finally got me. Okay, I didn't really want to do it. I don't need that crap. But they had one thing I wanted. I think was a relationship workshop. I think I really wanted that. But you got to do the basic training. So I'm doing the training now. I'm going on regular. And you know me, I'm wearing all my African stuff all the time just because I like to do it. And it disturbs some people. Okay, I forget that some people are disturbed because they see me in African clothing. And so some white guy came up to me and he says, "That's a very interesting outfit that you're wearing today." And I said, "Well, thank you very much. I consider that a compliment." And he had the audacity to say, "Well, I didn't say it was a compliment." And Rodney, I looked right at him. I said, "Thank you. I consider that a compliment as well." And he
Yeah,
was just outdone. He just was fuming. And he
yeah,
was just trying to rattle me, but got rattled. And it's crazy because later on that night, we're all at the Denny's or somewhere like that. I'm by myself. I don't know these people. I'm not trying to chum you up. I mean, I got issues. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting by myself, and there's a whole group of them, much younger than me, too. All white people, maybe some Asian, but no black people. You see what I'm saying? And they're at a table with him. And they look and see me by myself, and they all, "Oh, Andrew, I wanted to come on over and join us." They're begging me to join the table, and I'm looking. This dude is so miserable. Like gratitude, man.
that's right. That's right.
It
Uh,
works.
it melts through the boundaries and
Yeah,
all that
yeah, yeah.
stuff.
It's
Yeah.
just don't resist. The scriptures, the Bible says, "Resist not evil." So he
Hmm.
said, "Why wouldn't I resist evil? Because it has no power over you."
That's right.
Okay. If you resist it, now you have a fight.
Yeah.
And you could lose a fight or at least get delayed and detained. But no, no, no. I'm gonna stay grateful for everything, and
Hmm.
it's difficult. It
Well, I'll
is.
tell you, that would end wars if people would just stay steeped in gratitude.
Would
Yeah.
be no war.
There'd
That's the
be,
thing I want to say too. I think gratitude supersedes forgiveness. I
yeah.
think a sufficient level of gratitude eradicates the need to forgive.
There you go. Yes.
Okay. You
Absolutely.
forgiveness is for people who haven't achieved a certain level
Hmm.
of gratitude.
Yeah.
Because there's a level of gratitude on the other side of forgiveness that renders it moot. It's like it's going backwards. I
Yeah.
have to acknowledge that you did something to me in order for me to forgive you. But I'm so grateful for who I am now and for what I am, and that all the places where I felt betrayed, where I was betrayed in the moment, now I realize were tremendous growth opportunities and nexus points for my expansion, and I'm grateful for them. And so now when I see somebody getting on my last nerves, I kind of salivate a little bit. I'm like, "Oh, okay, this is gonna I'm about to really jump to another level here because this is so scary, so mean, so horrible. I got so many attitudes about this that as I get still with my gratitude and overcome this and super, then I'm going to be so much more powerful." So
Absolutely.
sometimes I'll be looking for somebody to mess with me because I always feel like it helps me focus. It helps me focus.
And that's how,
Just
yeah,
go
that's
ahead.
how these opportunities come for us to get to that next level, to get to grow. Instead of like, I got to go now, like, hey, yo, I got to grow now, so thank you. Now it doesn't, now, of course, that means we have to learn the lesson. Otherwise, it's going to keep coming, and that means we're not truly grateful in that moment. And we're going to keep having to forgive ourselves and forgive the other person until we become grateful for the opportunity to grow. And in that moment, be grateful of each and every moment so that we're leaving all that like we read before, the doubt and the fear and all of that. Let it go because it has no place, it has no power. And so thank you so
Absolutely.
much. Thank you. So we're going to
Absolutely.
jump into the affirmations real quick. And I'm not sure if you're able to see them because they tend to be kind of small on a small screen. So what we like to do is it will, I'll go first, invite everybody to take in a breath, and then recite the affirmation. We'll do it twice. That's when Ellen is here. Hey, Ellen, I want to just thank you. hmm Thank you for that. And we're going to go. Yeah, it looks like that could be one of our affirmations. Gratitude is
Gratitude is
best practice
yeah.
anyone can adapt at any time, at any day. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you. And so we're going to go into the affirmations, and I invite each one to go within and be still and just take in a breath and release the breath. And the affirmation is I am grateful for the abundance that is already mine to share. Let's take a breath. I am grateful for the abundance that is already mine to share. Hmm. And the next one. Take a breath. In the midst of all things, I seek and find a reason to give thanks. Take another breath. In the midst of all things, I seek and find a reason to give thanks. And now the next one. Take a breath. I really need no reason to be grateful. I just am. Let's take another breath. I really need no reason to be grateful. I just am. And so it is, and now it is.
Indeed.
Yes,
You know,
indeed.
as you're doing the last one, I realized we talk about how to use it, and that's that's the what the chapter I like you use it with gratitude, man,
Mhm.
and intentionality. Because yeah, I love it. Thank you for having me
Thank,
on, Rodney.
thank you. All right. So, I have some announcements to make, and Reverend Martha, I'm going to take you off screen just for a moment and bring you back. You'll have time to join back a little later in a couple of minutes.
All right.
Great, great. All right. See you in a few. And so here at One Love Center for Spiritual Living, we are grateful for your donations to One Love Center. Thank you so much. You can do it through PayPal at onelovecenter.org or the Cash Me app at $ One Love CSL. And also, you can support One Love Center through your purchases through Amazon. You can do it through smile.amazon.com and look for One Love Center teaching chapter uh, to be the charity. And we thank all of those who have been already giving through in that way, and those who will consider and will actually use smile.amazon/ One Love Center teaching chapter. Thank you so much for your giving. And we have an affirmation of abundance. And we believe that if you've been spiritually fed by anything that we do or everything that we do, um, please consider giving of your time, your talent, and most certainly your treasure. We welcome it all. We welcome your presence, and we give thanks for in any way, any amount that you choose to give. It'd be a way of expressing gratitude. And so we thank you in advance, and we thank you now, and continue to be grateful for all that comes from you for One Love Center. And so the affirmation of abundance, please go within. Feel free. I invite you to feel that heartbeat. Feel that energy, the pulsating, the current of energy that is flowing in through and as you. And we recite the affirmation of abundance. Money, as one of the many gifts of spirit, is good. As I share my offerings, I know that I am actively creating a space to receive more gift, more money, and more good. Also, I am grateful for the ability to give and for the good work these gifts do in our center and in our world. And now it is. Yes, indeed. So, I do want to bring up um, a couple of announcements. One, we are requesting that a member show up, or a friend of a member, or somebody who's watching and wants to participate in what One Love Center is doing to assist in managing the broadcast. So you can contact us through our email, oneLove@onelovecenter.org, or you can call 844-295-5155 to be of service. Thank you. Bless you. And yeah, thank you for any consideration in that. Also, just want to point out that we do have something coming up. The Vista Convention, it's going to be virtual. However, there will be places like in Santa Rosa and Center in Santa Rosa, in Dallas, and another one somewhere I don't remember right offhand, where you can actually go in person to be part of our Center for Spiritual Living 2023 Evolutionary Love for Today's World Convention, February 20th, 23rd. We'll have more information on that and in our email and in our broadcast. Also, coming up is a Parliament of World Religion. Hold on, there we go. Parliament of World Religions. And let's see if we can bring up a little picture of that very quickly. And there it is. Maybe. Not coming up. Anyway, Parliament of World Religions, as you can see on that ticker, it's coming up for August 14th to August 19th. You can contact me. We still have some discounted tickets available. All right. Okay. So you can check out more of our announcements. Oh, yeah. By the way, Ellen is coming up with a retreat. Ellen Swaz, our practitioner, and Reverend Angela Harmon are bringing a Ignite Your Way Through Prayer and Let Magic Work. That's in Puerto Vallarta in Mexico. So you'll get more information on that, and you can look for it in our email. So at this time, I want to thank Reverend Mwata, who stepped out to prepare for his service. And unfortunately, he didn't get a chance to say goodbye or pray out with us. And we have awesome song to follow. So you definitely want to stick around for that song by Agape, time-honored song. So just knowing that I give thanks for this opportunity. I am steeped in gratitude. I know that my ship is sailing. It's coming to port. It's coming to shore to show that surely by giving thanks, knowing that all is well, regardless of the situation, that within that situation, all is well. I'm giving thanks and blessing each and every one for saying yes to participate in this good, in this greater good. I am blessing each and every one in knowing that gratitude is the way. It shows up in all wonderful ways. It shows up for all of the ways that we prosper on the planet with a health, with wealth in relationships, wealth in our financial affairs, wealth in our health. And I give thanks for all of this good as it shows up for each and every one. So I bless each and every one, knowing that there is good and greater good right here for us in every now moment. For this and so much more, I give thanks. Let it be the good that it is. And now it is.